What's happening, everybody? Tyrone Bowman. This is Black Wrestling News. Back with the continuing story about, about the wrestler who was named as Virgil. You knew him when he was the quote unquote the valet for Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase. His real name is Michael Charles Jones. So I talked about his early beginnings in part one. He passed away on the 28th of February of 2024. One of the greatest professional wrestlers. I talked about his rookie years in the beginning of part one. I'm just recapping. I'm not going to read everything. He entered the World Wrestling Federation from 1986, 1994, and 1995. His rookie years were from 1985 until 1987. Now, I'm going to pick up where I left off talking about Virgil. So, let's pick up where I left off at how Virgil was humiliated by DiBiase consistently, and eventually turned on him, hitting him with his own $1 million title belt at the Royal Rumble in January 1991. Making him a fan favorite after befriending and training with Roddy Piper, he defeated DiBiase by count out at WrestleMania 8 or WrestleMania 7 and pinned him for Ted DiBiase's unsanctioned $1 million championship on August 26, 1991 at SummerSlam. He later lost the $1 million championship belt back to DiBiase in November of 1991 as a result of outside interference by the Repo Man. So, at Tuesday in Texas, Repo Man and DiBiase defeated Virgil and Tito Santana. After this Tuesday in Texas, Virgil then departed on a career as a singles wrestler and was famous for wearing unusual red candy striped tights. He entered the 1992 Royal Rumble as an entrant number 23 and was eliminated by Hacksaw Jim Duggan, lasting 20 minutes and 45 seconds. On the March 22nd edition of Wrestling Challenge, Sid Justice attacked Virgil and broke his nose after Virgil appeared with other wrestlers to stop Sid Justice from beating up David Wolf after their match. Virgil was forced to wear a protective face mask to protect his nose while wrestling for a few months after the injury at WrestleMania 8. Virgil teamed with Big Boss Man, Sergeant Slaughter, and Jim Duggan to defeat the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags, Repo Man, and the Mountie. Virgil pinned Knobbs following a miscommunication from the opponent's team. He also appeared in a losing match against Knobbs at SummerSlam and also lost to Yokozuna at Survivor Series. He did receive a shot at Bret Hart's WWF World Heavyweight Championship on the November 21, 1992 episode of WWF Superstars. After a violent effort, Virgil submitted to Hart's sharpshooter. After the match, the two shook hands out of respect. Virgil began 1993 by appearing at the January Royal Rumble as an entrant number 6 and was eliminated by the Berksker. After lasting 17 minutes and 8 seconds afterward, Virgil's time in the spotlight began to fade in 1993, but he remained in the undercard of the WWF, losing a match to Johnny Polo in November, a match in Ontario, Canada. Virgil's last appearance on a WWF PPV event was the Royal Rumble, where he was a late substitute for Kamala. He entered the Rumble as number 10, but was eliminated by Diesel in 32 seconds. Virgil's last notable feud was with a returning Nikolai Volkov in the summer of 1994. Volkov was down on his luck and had just been brought by Ted DiBiase, forcing Volkov to wear a cent symbol on his tights. Virgil tried to persuade Volkov this was a mistake and tried to inform him of DiBiase's abusive history. Volkov refused and defeated Virgil on the July 24 episode of WWF Superstars. This loss was a significant moment for the WWF in 1994, as the event kicked off the formation of Ted DiBiase's million corporation stable of wrestlers who would go on to main event WrestleMania 11. This match was Virgil's last television appearance in the WWF, and he left in August 1994. Virgil did not return, or he did return briefly, to the WWF in May and June of 1995 in matches against Jean-Pierre Lafitte in Western Canada and the U.S. Midwest. Long after his stint with the WWF, he went to what is known as the National Wrestling Conference in 1995. On August 25th, 1995, Virgil competed in the National Wrestling Conference in the Supercard event Night of Champions. The match aroused controversy when Virgil's opponent, the Thug, came out to the ring dressed in a KKK hood. The Thug was accompanied by another man dressed in a full KKK outfit, who revealed himself as Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Both men proceeded to attack Virgil, with Neidhart rolling the KKK robe into a noose and hanging Virgil on the outside ropes. The 2-on-1 assault finally ended when the building security dragged Neidhart to the back and Virgil was carried away on a stretcher. The hell with that. I don't know what racist booker booked that then match. Should have never went down by that. Virgil should have changed the match himself. Times have changed. Don't let me put it, he should have whipped their ass. I don't care what the script would have said. Certain things we just not going to tolerate as black people. So then he went to World Championship Wrestling from 1996 to 2000. The New World Order from 1996 to 1999. Following 2 years on the independent scene, he appeared in WCW as Vincent in 1996 as the 5th member of the original NWO along with Ted DiBiase. He was given the role of head security for the NWO. Vincent, like his role as Virgil in the WWF, would often again take the brunt of the beatings from WCW wrestlers as other NWO members scurried away. As Vincent, Jones had minor success when first arriving in WCW. Having a short stint of undefeated matches on WCW Saturday Night, he also often was the valet for NWO members, most notably alongside Ted DiBiase during Hollywood Hulk Hogan's title matches. After Ted DiBiase quit the NWO, Vincent began accompanying Scott Norton, Scott Steiner, Conan, and Brian Adams to the ring. Vincent's first PPV match with WCW was at World War III 1997 in the Battle Royale, where he made it to the final 8 before being eliminated by the Giant with assistance from DDP. He also wrestled at Starrcade 1997, when he teamed with Scott Norton and Randy Savage to defeat the Steiner brothers and Ray Taylor. In 1998, the NWO split, and Vincent remained loyal to the original black and white faction led by Hollywood Hulk Hogan, which was now also being called NWO Hollywood. He assisted the faction in their feud with the NWO Wolfpack, and Ultimate Warrior's own the One Warrior Nation stable. He frequently was tag teaming with new NWO Hollywood recruit Stevie Ray and accompanied him to the ring for most of his matches. After Starrcade 1998, the NWO Hollywood and Wolfpack factions reunited and formed two squads. Wolfpack, or NWO Red and Black, also known as NWO Elite, and Vincent was demoted to be a part of the NWO Black and White, known also as NWO B Team, with the Giant, Brian Adams, Kurt Hennig, Horace Hogan, Scott Norton, and Stevie Ray. The NWO B Team members began competing over who would be the leader of the squad on the February 13, 1999 WCW Saturday Night. Before his match with Johnny Swinger, Vincent asked for a microphone and changed his name to Vince and began another winning streak. Vince had a new cocky attitude and tried to impress Hollywood Hulk Hogan for control of NWO B Team. Vince began feuding with his main rival Stevie Ray over who would be the leader of the black and white B Team NWO, but would eventually lost the Harlem Street fight at the 1999 WCW Uncensored PPV that made Stevie Ray the de facto leader. The issue of who was leader of NWO B Team persisted, and on April 5th, 1999, a four-man battle royale was held on WCW Nitro to finally determine who would be the leader. Vince was eliminated first by Bryan Adams, and Stevie Ray won again. Vince ended up remaining with the NWO B Team as the last remaining member of the original NWO. Over the course of 1999, both squads of the NWO shrank as one member after another slowly left over time, erratically, leaving only Vince as the sole member and de facto last leader of the original NWO before the faction dissolved for good in October 1999. He never joined the NWO again when he came back as NWO 2000, also known as NWO Silver and Black, or briefly in WWE. Next, I'll talk about West Texas Rednecks powers that be, Mr. Jones, and the end of WCW. For now, for Black Wrestling News, I'm Tyrone Bowman.